Good evening, all of you. I hope you all are doing well. And today, in this session, we're going to learn the banking and economic current affairs from the September month 2021. Okay, let's start this session. Our first issue is the State Bank of India has opened the floating ATM on Dal Lake in Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so here what is important is floating ATM is a new concept. Okay, it is the world's first floating ATM which was built by the State Bank of India. But recently, SBI it has opened the new floating ATM on the Dal Lake. It is in the Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. That you need to remember. Okay, so it was inaugurated on the August 16, 2021 by the SBI chairman Dinesh Kumar Khara on the houseboat. See, apart from fulfilling the long-standing needs of local and tourists, the houseboat ATM will also be an added attraction to the charm of the Srinagar. Okay, so this floating ATM will be helpful for the tourists also. Okay, who are staying in the houseboats, and even for the local lights who are staying in the Jammu and Kashmir, it will be helpful for them also. Okay, and prior to this Dal Lake floating ATM, SBI installed the another floating ATM first time, that is in the Kerala. That you need to remember. Okay, first time it was established the floating ATM in the Kerala. So that is in the Shipping and Inland Navigation Corporations, Jhankar H in 2004 only it was established that. Okay, so which operated between the Ernakulam and Vepayan. Okay, so this was the first floating ATM which was built by SBI, and this one is the second one, that is in the Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so this will be helpful for tourists also and even for the localites also. And another one more thing about this is it is very much attractive for the tourist also. Okay, so that will give more charm to the Srinagar and for the Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so that is all about the floating ATM. So here what you need to remember is in examination they're gonna ask to recently floating ATM, what it was in the news and which bank built that. Okay, so such kind of question will come. So you need to remember it is State Bank of India. And first time where it was established in the Kerala state. And second time it is in the Dal Lake, Srinagar, Jammu and Kashmir. Okay, so these points are very important. You need to remember this. Okay. So next, RBI to set up the committee on NUE licenses. So head of that committee is P. Vasudevan. So before going into this committee details, you need to understand what is this NUE is all about. Okay, so license and all we're going to discuss later. First, you need to understand what is this NUE. So NUE is nothing but new umbrella entity. Okay, so what is NUE? New umbrella entity. So why they are building this new umbrella entity? See, we already know what is UPI, that is Unified Payment Interface. That is the present system for the transaction of lot of the online payments, right? So Unified Payment Interface, which was managed by the NPCI, National Payment Corporation India. But now RBI is going to replace this UPI by the new umbrella entity. So that's why they are thinking about building up the new umbrella entity. So why they are replacing the UPI and why they are coming with the NUE? So that is the question. See, we have already seen lockdown happened, and before to the prior to the lockdown, in this 3 4 years of time, a lot of the transactions are happening through the UPI. So that risk concentration is very much high because UPI is the one system, it is taking care of all the payment transaction. So because of that, this one system risk concentration is so much high, and also we have seen the internet frauds and cyber crimes and many more things. Okay, so because of that, now government is thinking to build the another one platform, that is new umbrella entity platform, by replacing the UPI. So to set up this new umbrella entity, they are asking the companies to bid on that. Okay, so to bid on that, they have to give the license. Who is giving license to the companies to build the NUE? That is Reserve Bank of India. So to set up to make those applications are visible to everybody and to understand what all the companies are coming for this setup establishment of the NUE, they are setting up the new committee. Okay, so that committee is headed by the P. Vasudevan. So apart from the P. Vasudevan, other 4 members are there. Totally, it is a 5-member committee. Okay, to look into the applications which are coming for the establishment of NUE. So a lot of the companies are coming. In fact, a lot of the giant companies like Amazon, Facebook, okay, Google, all these companies are in line to bid for the NUE establishment. Okay, so that is all about the NUE. So these NUEs will establish their own payment infrastructure to compete with the National Payment Corporation of India, that is nothing but NPCI. Okay, so this is all about the NUE. So here what you need to understand is, so this NUE is a one form of a system that is to replace the present system which is working on the UPI, that is Unified Payment Interface. So that you need to remember. And another one committee is formed by the Reserve Bank of India regarding the NUE licenses. It is headed by the P. Vasudevan. So apart from P. Vasudevan, other 4 members are there in the committee. So those member names are not important. So at least try to remember the head of the committee. Okay, so P. Vasudevan. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. Okay. Next, Nirmala Sitharaman chairs the 24th meeting of Financial Stability and Development Council. So in short, it is FSDC. So what is this FSDC? Financial Stability and Development Council. So our Union Minister for Finance and Corporate Affairs, Srimati Nirmala Sitharaman, she chaired the 24th meeting of the Financial Stability and Development Council. So this Financial Stability and Development Council is the apex level forum. It was set up by the Government of India. So what is the purpose of this FSDC? It is to strengthen and institutionalize the mechanism for maintaining the financial stability in India and enhancing the interregulatory coordination and promoting the financial sector development. So it is all about the inclusive growth and it is all about the development of the economy and financial institutions in India. Okay, so by the name only we can understand Financial Stability and Development Council. So that is the work of the FSDC. So recently 24th meeting happened. Our Nirmala Sitharaman chaired the FSDC Council. So Finance Minister is the chairperson of FSDC, and it must be noted that FSDC subcommittee is chaired by the Governor of RBI. So this is very important point. So usually we will get confused with these 2 points. FSDC is headed by the Finance Minister always, but FSDC subcommittee will also be there. Okay, it is one committee in that FSDC only. So that is headed by the Governor of RBI. So keep in mind, in examination, if they ask FSDC subcommittee is headed by whom or chaired by whom, so that time you need to pick the option Governor of RBI. So even if they ask FSDC's chairperson, so then it is the obviously Finance Minister, that is Nirmala Sitharaman. Okay, so these two difference you need to understand. Okay, apart from that, nothing important is there. So at least try to remember 24th meeting of the Financial Stability and Development Council happened recently, which was headed by the Nirmala Sitharaman. So there are 2 committees, FSDC Council, one form. Another thing is FSDC Subcommittee. It is another form. It will be headed by the Governor of RBI all the time. Okay, so these 2 points are very important. So keep in mind. Okay, next. PhonePe launches the first Indian digital payment interactive geospatial platform, Pulse platform. Okay, in examination, they wanna ask Pulse platform. It was recently seen in news. It is launched by the which of the following entities? Okay, so like that, the question will come. So you need to remember it is launched by the PhonePe. Okay, so this platform, it was named as the PhonePe Pulse. So Pulse is the India's first interactive platform with data insights and trends on the digital payment. Okay, so it will give in detail about the, or you can say insight about the data of the digital payments which are happening in the India. Okay, like how India spends money digitally. It is going to reveal that data. So this platform shows the more than 2,000 crore digital transaction by the customers on an interactive map of India. Okay, so apart from this, PhonePe also launched the Pulse report. Okay, so this Pulse report, it is an in-depth study on the evolution of the digital payment over the past 5 years. So this platform is nothing but it is going to give the insights about the digital data which are happening in the India. Okay, so it is all about the Pulse platform. Another one report is there, Pulse report. It is also launched by the PhonePe itself. It will give in-depth study of the evolution of the digital payments over the past 5 years. It means over from the 2014 up to 2021, whatever the transaction, digital transaction are happening in India, it is going to give the insight study about all those datas. Okay, so it will also make the map, that is interactive map of the digital payment, or you can say digital transaction of the India. Okay, so that is all about the Pulse platform. Here what you need to remember is Pulse platform recently seen in news, which is launched by the which of the following entities. Such question will come directly in examination, so you need to remember it is launched by the PhonePe. To make you confused, they will also give Google Pay, Paytm, okay, all other BMAP, okay. So a lot of the option they will give. So here you need to remember it is launched by the PhonePe. In fact, it is one of the website. Okay, it will give the details, data details about the India. Okay, so you need to remember that. Next is Equita Small Finance Bank tie up with the Google Pay to launch the digital fixed deposit. Okay, so here you need to remember the Equitas Small Finance Bank. So it has recently tied up with the Google Pay. So for what purpose? They're combining together to launch the digital FD. FD is nothing but fixed deposit. Okay, so the Equitas Small Finance Bank, in short it is ESFB, it has launched the new initiative in partnership with the Google Pay, under which it will enable the users of the Google Pay app to open the fixed deposits on the Google Pay. Okay, you might have been using the Google Pay, right? There was no such option of the fixed deposit, but now they are going to add this new option of the fixed deposit on the Google Pay. It is specifically for the Google Pay users. Okay, see, in under the 2 minutes without having to open a bank account with the ESFB. You for this fixed deposit, you don't need to open your bank account in the Equitas Small Finance Bank. You can directly, deposit your fixed deposit in the Google Pay itself. And this is the first of its type initiative by the bank. Initially, the initiative is available for Google Pay users who are accessing the app from the Android phone. Okay, so users will get the interest rate of 6.35% on the FD with tenure of the 1 year. So that is also very important. See, here it is nothing but it is one form of a facility given by the Equitas Small Finance Bank along with the Google Pay to fix your amount of money. Okay, some so and so amount of money. So for that, you don't have to open any bank account with the ESFP. You just need to directly deposit your money. On that, you will also receive the interest rate. Okay, how much interest rate they are providing? 6.35% interest rate they will give, and tenure of that fixed deposit will be 1 year. Okay, so this is the very good initiative. It is launched by the Equitas Small Finance Bank with the Google Pay. Okay, that you need to remember. Okay, next, Harsha Bhupendra Bangari. Okay, so remember their name. Harsha Bhupendra Bangari, appointed as the MD of Exim Bank. Governor has appointed the Harsha Bhupendra Bangari as the new managing director of Export Import Bank of India. So that is Exim Bank. What is Exim Bank? Export Import Bank of India. So before this, Bangari was posted as deputy managing director at the Exim Bank, but now they have become the MD of the Exim Bank. She has been appointed for a period of 3 years or until further orders of the government. Bangari will replace the incumbent MD David Raspinha, who was appointed for 5 years on July 20, 2014. So this David Raspina was there before. Now he is going to replaced by this Harsha Bhupendra Bangari. Okay, so you need to remember her name. What is her name? Harsha Bhupendra Bangari, recently appointed as the MD, that is Managing Director of Export Import Bank of India. Okay, before they were there in Exim Bank itself, they were posted as the Deputy Managing Director of the Exim Bank. Now they are going to be a MD in the Exim Bank, which was replaced by the David Masvina. Okay, Raspina. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So in examination, they're gonna ask recently who has become the MD of the Exim Bank. So for that, you need to remember Harsha Bhupendra Bangari. Okay, next. Karnataka Bank launches the POS device, Wise POS Go, for merchant customers? Can anybody let me know in the comment section what is POS? Long form of POS. Anybody? It is very simple, right? If you know about POS, just let me know in the comment section. See, POS is nothing but point of sale device. Okay, point of sale. Okay, the Karnataka Bank, it has launched an all-in-one point of sale swiping machine. It is dubbed as the Wise POS Go for its merchant customer to process business payments. Okay, this Wise POS Go is nothing but is one form of a device. Okay, it is a point of sale device for its merchant customers to process the business payments to the device. Wise POSCO is a compact, lightweight, and user-friendly device, just like the mobile phone. It is designed keeping in view the specific cost-centric requirements of the bank's MSME customers. Okay, so the private sector lenders has rolled out this POS device in collaboration with the MSC Technology Private Limited. See, apart from processing the payments, merchants can also make the calls using the Wise POS 5 machine. It is nothing but a one form of a device which will be helpful for the payment system, business payment transactions. So apart from the transaction, they can even use this for making calls. Okay, just like mobile phone. All this facility will not be there. At least you can transact through this and you can make a call using the Wise POSCO. It is one of the point of sale device. So in examination, the question will come like that. Recently, Wise POSCO, it was in news. It is related to the which of the following bank. Like that, the question will come. They will give four options like Karnataka Bank, SBI, HDFC, like that they will give. So here you need to remember it is launched by the Karnataka Bank. Okay, it is one of the device that you need to remember. Okay, I hope this is clear. Next, government appoints the 10 merchant bankers for managing the IPO of LIC. What is IPO? In yesterday class only I told you, right? What is IPO? At least tell me the long form, not in details about that. What is IPO? Yeah, is that Pratibha YB Bagalkota? Yes, true, right? Any other answers? You need to interact with me, then only we'll understand. Anyhow, we will study in detail about the IPOs in economic classes. But as of now, I told you in the last class, what is IPO? See, IPO is nothing but the initial public offerings that you need to remember. Okay, initial public offerings. So recently, our central government, it has appointed the 10 merchant bankers for the management of IPO of the LIC company. That is Life Insurance Corporation of India. See, the government of India has appointed the 10 merchant bankers for the management of initial public offering of LIC company. This IPO of LIC is likely to be launched in the January-March quarter of 2022. Okay, what is the role of these merchant bankers in the IPO? See, the role of the merchant bankers in the case of IPO is to the take care of the issue management and promotional activities, credit syndications, project counseling, and portfolio management, etc. Okay, so these 10 merchant bankers will help for the to manage the initial public offerings of the LIC company for the disinvestment. Okay, the name of these merchant bankers are, one is Goldman Sachs. Okay, total 10 number of merchant bankers are there, right? One is Goldman Sachs Securities. Next, Citigroup Global Markets India. Next, Nomura Financial Advisory and Security India, SBI Capital Market. Okay, many others are there. You don't need to remember all the 10. So at least try to remember these are very important ones. Okay, so these merchant bankers will helpful for the initial public offerings of the LIC. It will manage all the issue of the initial public offerings of the LIC for the disinvestment. Okay, for the disinvestment of LIC. What is disinvestment and what is this stock market, and how initial public offering work, and how the primary market and secondary market will work? This is going to this all things you're going to study in detail in the economy. Okay, so if I keep on telling all this, it will take 2-3 hours. Okay, so don't worry about it. As of now, remember, 10 merchant bankers are appointed by the government of India to manage the IPOs of the LIC. That you need to remember. Okay, so next is ICICI Lombard ceases to be a subsidiary of ICICI Bank post merger with Bharati AXA. You can say Bharati AXA. See, the ICICI Lombard General Insurance has ceased to operate as the subsidiary of the ICICI Bank, as the shareholding of the ICICI Bank in the company has come down from 51.86% to 48.08%. Okay, see, for being a subsidiary in any of the company or bank, the parent company must own the at least 50% of the equity in the subsidiary company. Say for example, this ICICI Lombard is a you can say it is a subsidiary company. Then ICICI Bank, it is the parent company. If we call this ICICI Lombard is the subsidiary of ICICI Bank, then ICICI Bank must hold at least 50% of the equity in the ICICI Lombard. Then only we can call it as subsidiary company and it is the parent company. But now what happened is the shareholding of the ICICI Bank in the Lombard company, it has come down from the 51.86% to 48.08%. Okay, before it was holding 51.86% share in the ICICI Lombard, but now it has come down up to the 48.08%. So that's why it is ceases to be the subsidiary of ICICI Bank, because ICICI Bank shareholding is becoming less. Okay, because this ICICI Lombard, it has merged with the AXA with AXA Bharti AXA company. Okay, that's why the shareholding of the ICICI Bank, that is parent company, has getting down. So that's why ICICI Lombard is not the subsidiary of ICICI Bank anymore. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So here you need to remember what is subsidiary company and what is parent company. Nothing but they are holding, they will be having the shareholdings in the subsidiary company. So that shareholding must be at least 50%. Then only it is called as the parent company. Another company is subsidiary company. Otherwise, it is ceases to be a subsidiary company. Okay. So these things you need to carefully remember. Okay. I hope this is clear to you. Next, New Development Bank approves the UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh as the new members. What is New Development Bank? Anybody let me know in the comment section. Or which grouping has started the New Development Bank? If you know anything about the New Development Bank, let me know in the comment section. See, this NDB is a one form of bank. How we have SBI, no? Like that, New Development Bank is also one form of bank. It is established by the BRICS. BRICS grouping is there, right? So BRICS consists of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So this BRIC grouping has come up with the New Development Bank. It was established in the 2015 itself. But now this New Development Bank, it has approved the UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh. So these three new countries as the member. That's why this issue was in news. Okay, this Shanghai-based New Development Bank, it has approved the UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh as its new member countries. In 2020, the NDB Board of Governors initiated the negotiation to expand its membership. So before that, only this Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, they were the member of NDB. Now the governors, they have initiated the negotiation. They have started the talking on that and they have expanded the membership. So as a result, these three countries, UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh, have been admitted as the first new member countries of the New Development Bank. Okay, so what is the purpose of New Development Bank? So this bank will support the public or private projects through giving loans or guarantees, equities, participation, and other financial instruments. Say for example, any private or public project is happening in developing or underdeveloped countries, they can take the loans from the New Development Bank. Okay, it will give the loan and it will give the guarantees, and also apart from that, it will give the equity also. Okay, it will help the other projects which are happening in the developing and underdeveloped countries. Okay, so that is all about the New Development Bank. And here what you need to understand is this New Development Bank, it was established in the 2015 itself by the BRICS grouping. That the first major point you need to remember. So next, the three new member countries are UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh. These are very important. Okay, to make you confused, they will give different option in examination. So try to remember these three countries are the new members of the New Development Bank. What are these? UAE, Uruguay, and Bangladesh. Okay, so these three countries are the new members of the New Development Bank. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So next is Power Finance Corporation issues the India's first ever Euro Green Bond. Okay. The leading power sector NBFC. What is NBFC? Anybody let me know in the comment section. At least you just give the acronym of the NBFC. What is NBFC? Do you have any idea about NBFC? Any idea about NBFC? See, NBFC is nothing but non-banking finance company. Note it down. Okay. NBFC is what is NBFC? Non-banking finance companies. See, this Power Finance Corporation issues the India's first ever Euro Green Bond. So this Power Finance Corporation, in short, it is PFC. It is one of the NBFC. It means non-banking finance company. This Power Finance Corporation Limited successfully issued its maiden Euro Green Bond on September 13, 2021. The 7-year Euro 300 million bond has been priced at the 1,841%. Okay, so what is this Euro Green Bond? It is all about. So before getting into the Euro Green Bond, you need to understand the different bonds. You can compare with that. Okay, we have heard something called as Masala Bond and Panda Bond. If you guys are aware of that, anybody let me know in the comment section. Do you know what is Masala Bond and what is Panda Bond? See, Masala bond is nothing but it is one form of the bond which is denominated by the rupees. Okay. See, usually whenever the bond happen and whenever it is sales through the international market, it is always denominated by the dollars. Okay. When it comes to the Masala bond, it is denominated by the rupees. And when it comes to the Panda bond, it is denominated by the yuan, that is Chinese currency. So why they are issuing the rupee denominated bond and yuan denominated bond? That is the question. Okay, why they are issuing masala bond and why they are issuing the panda bonds? They have already issued it. Okay, the reason is this. It is very much flexible to the currency fluctuation in the international market. So because of that, to overcome that risk of currency fluctuation in the international market, they are issuing the rupee denominated and yuan denominated bond. Similarly, this Euro Green Bond, it is denominated by the euro. Okay, so this Euro Green Bond, it is denominated by the euro. So in fact, this is the first ever euro denominated green bond issued in the India. Okay, and it is also the first ever euro issuance by an Indian NBFC. So that is all about the Euro Green Bond. See here, what you need to remember is Euro Green Bond is one form of a bond and it is issued by the Power Finance Corporation of India. Okay, it is one of the non-banking finance company and it is for the first time in India, one NBFC, that is Power Finance Corporation of India, issued the Euro Green Bond. And the specialty of this Euro Green Bond is it is denominated by the euro, just like the Masala bond and Panda bonds. Okay, so this 7-year Euro 300 million bond, it has been priced at 1,841%. Okay, so you don't need to remember in detail about the what is the price and how much is the money. At least you try to remember which NBFC is issuing that. Okay, that is important. That is Power Finance Corporation Limited. Okay, that you need to remember. Okay, so next, World Bank Group discontinues doing business report. You might have heard about ease of doing business report, right? It was in news from many years. Okay, every year the question will come, every year the report will come. This is very famous question in every examination. Ease of doing business, it is launched by which of the following? Okay, it is World Bank. But now what it is doing, World Bank Group, it does discontinues doing the business report. The World Bank Group has announced to discontinue the doing business report. It is popularly known as ease of doing business ranking. The decision was taken by the Board of Executive Directors, World Bank Group Management, after the data irregularities on the doing business 2018 and 2020. Okay, it were reported. See, ease of doing business is one of the very important report which will be given in a different given to the different countries. There will be the ranking. Okay, India will also be there in the ease of doing ranking. But now from in the 2018 and 2020 they have seen the data irregularities in the ease of doing business report. So because of that, okay, to fill the void created by the discontinuation of this report, World Bank would be working on the new approach to overcome the data discontinuity and assessing the business and investment climate. Okay, so because of this data discontinuity and irregularities, World Bank Group, it discontinues that ease of doing business report. Okay, so you need to remember that, which was a very popular report in every exam. They were they have been asked already who is launching the ease of doing business report. It is nothing but World Bank. So here what you need to understand is some of the reports are very important, just like ease of doing business. Forget about it. Now it is being discontinued. But other reports are also there. World Innovation Index, okay, World Global Innovation Index, and many other reports are there by the different entities. Like IMF will release the set of reports, and World Health Organization will also release the set of report. Next, when it comes to the WIPO, that will also release a set of reports. Okay, so you need to what you need to do is you need to go to the website of each and every entities, and you need to note it down which are the very important reports it is releasing. Okay, so that is your homework. You need to do that every year. The question will come on that. At least one report they're gonna ask in the examination. So keep in mind, make sure that you have now all the reports by the different entities. Okay, apart from this ease of doing business, World Bank will also launches many other reports. You need to go down and go to the Google and search it and make note of all of that. Okay, what are the other reports which is launched by the World Bank? Okay, so that is the homework. You need to do that. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. Next, RBI fixes the minimum ticket size for issuance of securitization notes at rupees 1 crore. Okay, so here what you need to understand is what is this securitization of the notes, or you can say what is the securitization of standard asset. That you need to understand. This is a very economical term. I don't know, you might have heard it before or not. So securitization of standard assets are nothing but it is the procedure where an issuer design a marketable financial instrument by merging or pooling various financial assets into the one group. So to make it easier, I'll give you an example. Say for example, one bank is there. Okay, bank A is there. It is going to give a lot of loans to the different person. Okay, so these loans which is given by the bank, these are the asset to the bank. Okay, so these are called as assets to the banks. See, whenever they give loans to the different person, then the bank, what it will do, it will pool all those assets and give it to the some other person. Okay, as the security. Okay, so that is called as securitization of the standard asset. Okay, that is one form of a procedure where an issuer design a marketable financial instrument by merging or pooling the various financial assets into the one group. Here in this example, these loans given by the bank, so that is called as originator. Okay, and the loan receiver side, they are called as obligators. See, this originator, he is making one, or he is designing a marketable financial instrument, and he will give this the loans, he will merge these loans into the one group, and he will sell it to the other person, third person, by using the special purpose vehicle, that is SPV. Okay, so this process is called as securitization of the standard asset. Okay, so this is the securitization of the standard asset. So recently the Reserve Bank of India, it has issued the guidelines regarding the securitization of the standard asset. And as per the guidelines of RBI, the minimum ticket size of the issuance of securitization notes will be worth rupees 1,100 crore, 1 crore. Okay, so that you need to remember. I hope this is clear to you. What is securitization of the standard asset? This is a very economical term. When you study economy, you will come through this. What is securitization of the standard asset and how the RBI will manage all these steps. Okay. As of now, remember, this is one form of a procedure that you need to remember, securitization of the standard asset. So why it was in news? Because RBI fixes the minimum ticket size for the issuance of this SSA, that is securitization of standard asset notes at rupees 1 crore. Okay, so because of that it was in news. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So next we're going to study the loans in news in the September month. Asian Development Bank, in short it is ADB Bank. Asian Development Bank, it has approved a loan of US dollar 150 million, that is about rupees 1095 crore for a sustainable housing project for the urban poor in the Tamil Nadu. Okay, so they want to ask, recently the Asian Development Bank has approved the US dollar 150 million to the which state? Okay, you need to remember it is nothing but Tamil Nadu. What is the purpose of this loan? For the sustainable housing project, okay, for the urban poor people. I hope this is clear to you. So next loan is the Government of India and the Asian Development Bank. They have signed the US dollar 300 million loans as additional financing to scale up the improvement of rural connectivity to help boost the rural economy in the state of Maharashtra. Here, which two organizations are doing that? One is Government of India, another one is Asian Development Bank. They have signed the US dollar 300 million loans as additional financing to scale up the improvement of rural connectivity to help boost the rural economy in the state of Maharashtra. So this loan, first loan, it is to the Tamil Nadu. This second loan is given to the Maharashtra. Okay. Next, Asian Development Bank and the Government of India, they have signed the US dollar 112 million loan to develop the water supply infrastructure and strengthen the capacities of the urban local bodies for improved service delivery in 4 towns in the state of Jharkhand. You can see in different states they are giving the different amount of loans for the different purpose. So first loan we have seen, it is for the sustainable housing projects for the urban poor. Okay, that is for the Tamil Nadu. So next we have seen that for the development of rural economy and rural connectivity. Okay, it is for the Maharashtra. Third, we are seeing it is for the these urban local bodies, development of urban local bodies. It is for the Jharkhand. Okay, so these are the 3 different loans, they were in news. Okay, I hope this is clear to you. So in this topic, you learned the banking and economic current affairs for the September month 2021. If you have any doubts regarding the any issue, let me know in the comment section. Any doubts?